partners. For this, IIT Ropar has collaborated with CII, the Confederation of Indian Industry, since it is a consortium of all the industries in the region. We really look forward to taking this collaboration a long way and expect that it will foster learning and growth on both the sides. With this, we are all here today marking the beginning of this meeting. So I would first like to invite Sri Bhavdeep Sardana, the chairman of CII Punjab, in front of the dais. And to felicitate him, I would call upon Dr. Pushpendra Pal Singh, the Associate Dean, Research and Development, IIT Ropar. Thank you so much, sir. I also request Bhavdeep sir, please have a chair on the dais. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Jatinder Kaur, the Executive Director at Punjab State Council of Science and Technology, in front of the dais. And to facilitate her, I would like to call upon Dr. Sarang Kumfikar, the Vice Chairperson of Industry and Corporate Relations Centers, IIT Ropar. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, I also request you to please have a chair on the dais. I also request our director, Professor Rajiv Ahuja, to kindly have their seat over here. Thank you so much. So, to begin with, I would like to invite our Honorable Director, Professor Rajiv Ahuja, on the dais to initiate the meeting with a welcome address to all our guests. So,
thanks for everyone to coming here. And I know you're a very busy person. You're managing your industry, and you have given us your precious time. So I welcome all of you on the behalf of IIT Ropar, our faculty, staff, from everyone. So I will say that IIT Ropar faculty. So this is a first interaction, and this will be not the last interaction. So this is just a beginning, and this I was planning since I came, and I talked many times to Jitendra Kaurji about this idea that we want to have an interaction with industry, and we want to have like industry academia should work together, and we should create a trust between industry and academia. And I want to have this industry day in IIT Ropar every second month. That was I promised. And since I'm coming from Sweden, and there it's very common practice, and we have in each semester we have 2 to 3 times have an industry day. So all the big industries within Sweden, they come to Uppsala, and then they interact. And their model is very simple. So when we have an industry day, so we all ask you, what is your problems? What are your challenges you are facing? And where academic institution can help you? So what they do, they usually send their questions 2 weeks or 1 week in advance before coming for the industry day. And then what we do, we make a groups with the faculty members as well as PhD students. And when you will come, there will be 5 people for each problem. So then these company people directly come and interact with those number of people who are interested to solve their problem. So this is what I also want here. And we can listen to you. This is the first meeting. And maybe it will be good, we can visit your institution or your companies. And then you can send us your queries or your questions. What are the problems you are facing? And as an R&D, where we can help you. And I always tell to everyone, I don't care about IPR issues or patent issues. If I can make a small change in your product or in your industry, we will be very happy to do that. So don't worry about IPR and patent. We will not ask anything about that. So, but we want to help you actually. So this is the idea. And when we were there, nobody talks. Although we were working a big company like ABB, Sandvik, and Volvo, they all come with their problem. They send the problem. Scania, they send us the problem. This is a problem which we want to solve. And when we talk to them, they always say that even you solve this problem, you can even publish it if you want to. So it's not like that. Because when PhD students are working, they want to publish also results sometimes. So it's not like that from them also we block them because they are working on the industry problem. And sometimes we discuss them and then say, okay, Rajiv, this is not useful for us, but maybe for other company. But if I tell them that company is your competitor, he said, don't worry. In the end, we belong to same country. If what you learn or what you want to deliver, if I cannot use, if my fellow industry want to use, they are most welcome to use it. So it should be useful to someone. So same thing, we write a lot of patents, we have a lot of IPR, but we never use them. It was lying in the shelf. So what we want to bring the culture. It should not lie in the shelf. If you can use it, then we will be very much happy. And I also like to thank Baldis Satranaji. And when I discussed with him that this is what we want to do there, and he immediately agreed. And he said that why don't we start this kind of meeting on regular basis? And now we have an annual meeting in December, before December 10th. We want to have an annual meeting with all the industry in the northern region. So I said, why don't you organize this meeting in IIT Ropar? And he agreed and he us supported very well. And I would also like to thank also Mr. Chetan Pawaji. So he was always with us actually. Chetan Pawaji is our board of governance also. So when I visited him in Ludhiana, and I discussed this thing with him, and then they said that we will try to arrange this kind of meeting, and we will help you in the IIT Ropar, so you can have this meeting, and you can have a regular interaction with the industry people and the faculty, and in IIT Ropar, and also with the PhD students. I would like to stress that why PhD student? Because in the end, they will be in the front, they will be working with you in the companies. Because usually when faculty members are sometimes busy, but PhD students will be there and they will interact with you. So with that, I will cut it short, and I can guarantee you that, and we will not talk in the words, we will deliver also. And this is what I can assure you. And this is what when we talk about other companies, they always think that sometimes the time is an issue because we cannot deliver on time. But in this case, we will try to be on time and we will try to deliver as much as possible on time. And we will like to work with you, we will like to interact with you. And with that, I will stop here. And I'm sure this session, what you have right now, and after that, we will have interaction with the PhD students, especially. That will be very interesting. And because I want to tell you that IIT Ropar is a very young institute, and we are only from 2009. So one thing I want to tell you that our faculty is very young, and they are willing to work, and they have a dreams they want to fulfill, and they want to take IIT Ropar to the next level. And among the new young generation IITs, we want to be trendsetter. We don't want to compete within India also. We want to go internationally. And this is what the task I have been given when I joined as a director this year. After living abroad for 29 years, especially in Sweden, So I have chosen IIT Ropar. Even I can get in the established IIT the same position, and I have all for also protectors. But I have chosen IIT Ropar for this purpose because the IIT is young and there's a lot of things what we can do, what we can dream, we can fulfill our dream. And for that, I would like to thank you all of you again. Thanks for coming. And we can have this interaction now on very regular basis. And please suggest us and what are your demands and which direction you want that IIT Ropar should help you. So we are willing to do that. And thanks for coming. And I will not take much more time. And with that, I stop. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we have Dr. Athar Pondrik with us. He is the Chairperson of Industry and Corporate Relations Center, IIT Ropar. Dr. Athar will take us to the various industry initiatives taken here at IIT Ropar. So,
All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for your esteemed presence. As the Director Sir said, we are on a new trajectory to involving industry here at IIT Ropar. I am Athar, and I'm the Chairperson of the Industry and Corporate Relations Cell. We have a team, and the teams also help us in taking this mission forward. Now, if you were to look even 5 years ago, industry academia wouldn't have been in the news. However, before this presentation, I picked out 2 articles, very recent events. One is the Global Innovation Conclave, where the Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji basically mentioned that industry academic world need to collaborate, and they are encouraging this collaboration. Very recently, on 4th of December 2021, the Defense Minister Rajnath Singh also mentioned that they are striving to harness technology through active collaboration with industry, academia, technology providers. So the point I'm trying to make here is that it is very much a focus of the government, which sort of came up in the discussions we had today during lunch. And if we have your support, we can take this initiative a lot farther. So one cannot deny that industry and academia have complementary strengths. If we look at IIT Ropar, our focus here is on R&D, innovation, solving problems. Your focus as industrialists is to focus on the commercial value, get it out to the mass population. We have the ability to develop technology and processes, whereas you have the ability to scale the processes up. We have the ability to train and skill manpower to a certain extent, and you have the ability to skill and hire manpower, right? And we have a host of sophisticated expertise and infrastructure, which you may not have, but you have access to capital. And I can attest that the financing mechanisms are much quicker, which results in quicker execution of the project. So we cannot deny that the hands have to be shaken and a trust has to be built, as Director Sir pointed out. Now that is not without challenges, because there are 2 major challenges. One is that there is insufficient mutual dialogue, right? And because of the lack of mutual understanding, what happens is that researchers end up working on problems that are not of relevance to industry, or industry is not aware of the capabilities of universities such as IIT Ropar. And so we cannot harness the power of collaboration. So we need to have more dialogue. Secondly, there is a lack of, in large, places, a streamlined process for the engagement between industry and academia, right? And that leads to various issues like delayed execution of projects, improper utilization of mutual resources, and suboptimal deliverables, which again leads to mistrust and the belief that nothing can happen, right? And so we are there to change that. So our objective is to build a sustainable institutional framework that catalyzes and supports industry academia relationships to serve the long-term strategic goals of the institute, industry, and nation. Right? And I'll point out that we don't want this to be a one-off event. We want to make this a sustainable effort. So the connections and the meetings that we have here are taken forward and materialized into some sort of project or interaction down the line. So what do we have to offer? Broadly, we have institutional infrastructure and facilities. We have faculty and departmental expertise, over 170 faculty members from various disciplines, 11 departments, a few centers of like AI/ML, and then we have Avanth for agriculture, water technology. We have motivated and highly skilled R&D manpower, which is in the form of the graduate students, which Director Sir mentioned. There are CSR tax benefits. So 2019 onwards, the finance minister announced that you can have CSR inputs into academic institutions like IIT. So that also is something which we feel has not been explored by the industry. We offer various modes of industry engagement. Contractual flexibility and execution speed, I guarantee you'll find more here than much of the established IITs, because we have lesser, we are younger, we are more agile. Then we can give you access to government funds for R&D and infrastructure, right? Because many of the large corpus that the government has mandates that some sort of research institution has to be involved. And we have also explored those kind of mechanisms. And then, of course, the national visibility that the companies get, which is the IIT brand. So just to go over a snapshot of human resources and training capabilities, we have 11 departments, 3 centers, 177 faculty, a few thousand students, 2,500 students, 7 UG programs, 14 PG programs, which result in a large number of publications and hopefully with industry involvement, patents and their utilization. We have a large central research facility. We have 9+ installed equipments, other sophisticated equipmentation to be installed. And I'll point out that this is only the central facility. Each department has their own research facilities, and in the departments, each research lab has their own facilities. So I just wanted to sort of mention that these are some of the very large, expensive equipments that can be used for characterizing, testing various requirements, X-ray diffraction, nuclear magnetic resonance, mass spec. You'll see a bunch of these tools which are otherwise difficult to access. And then we have the people and the expertise to operate and help you make sense of these kind of analyses. Now, the industry and corporate relations cell, basically our motive is to help the institute and industry partners maximize value. One cannot deny that there has been engagement between industry and faculty members. But what we want to do is, through this sort of channelized process, we want to maximize the value so that the outcomes are successful. And how are we doing that? We have tried this out with a couple of, if some people are sitting here and they can attest to that. So the first step, basically what we're doing is to facilitate the interaction of industry with multiple faculty members. So that is the first step, is to facilitate that interaction. So we are the window to the institute, say, right? The R&D department and the corporate cell. Then we negotiate, and this is somewhere, where faculty are generally experts in research, but when it comes to agreements and contracts, there's a delay that many industry would have experienced. And that is the bottleneck that we want to get out. Because eventually what matters to industry is that time is, the time value of money is hard to explain to researchers. And so that is where we want to cut down short and lessen the time to execution. The third step is, once the project is out and you're interacting with the faculty members, we are not there as experts. We cannot be experts in every field, but we can certainly help troubleshoot if there is any communication gap, if there's something that is not going right. Then it is for us sort of to intervene and ensure that the process is smooth. And lastly is the outcomes need to be transferred to the industry members. And so with facilitate, negotiate, troubleshoot, and transfer, we sort of complete that process, which we are talking about streamlining at the institute. Now, there are multiple modes of industry engagement. It will depend on the objectives of the industry. So it could be as simple as testing or use of the facilities to do some kind of preliminary analysis. It could be consulting with faculty members. It could be training or certification of staff to make them more competent. The R&D projects which I mentioned, where there is intimate collaboration, joint work between industry members and the one or more faculty here. Technology licensing, and lastly, centers of excellence. And this sort of ties in with the educational mandate, which I'll not go into, but seminars, which is still very integral, because we could have industry members from here come and motivate youngsters to seminars, talks, being part of certain courses. We have a joint thesis, master's thesis program, where master students will work half at the institute, half at the industry, and there you're helping develop the skilled manpower, internships and placements. Right. So on the left, you see that there are various modes. If you have some other suggestions, we are definitely open to those. We want to hear from you as to what best suits you and how the institute can then adjust and adapt to that and be of service. Lastly, I'll focus on the last point. So there's a large thrust from the government of India on establishing centers, and this is, and we had this chat over lunch with a few of you. And the idea is that if there is a need based on the specificity of certain sectors in Punjab, we can have a center or more centers here at IIT. And so at the strengths here, you will see at the institute we have health, machine learning, AI, energy, materials, just to name a few, advanced manufacturing, agriculture, and water. And if you look at the industries, I got a list, and it's quite diverse. We have capital goods, we have textiles, we have some coatings, we have laminate manufacturers, auto ancillaries, right? Food processing. And so if we can get your help and your inputs in helping us set up something like this down the road as we materialize this interaction, that will help the entire industry ecosystem here in Punjab. And IIT Ropar is in the north of India, probably an institute of most eminence. There are a lot of institutes, but I think we can make this the hub for this kind of activity. And through regular interactions and your support, we seek to make this happen. So I thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you so much, sir. Next up, I will call upon the dais, Shri Bhavdeep Sardana, the chairman of Confederation of Indian Industry, CII Punjab. He has been actively engaged with the Punjab and central governments on policies affecting the industry and is also a member of the Punjab State Planning Board. Sir will now tell us about the initiatives from CII to further the cause of the Industry Academia Partnership. Please, sir.
Thank you. A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Jatinder Kaur Arora ji, Executive Director of Punjab State Council for Science and Technology, Dr. Rajiv Ahuja, Director IIT Ropar, my colleagues from CII, Amit, past chairs, Mr. Bhogal, Mr. Samra, and all the members who have traveled. And in particular, I would like to thank Mr. Chetan Pava, who's made this interaction possible. So a very warm welcome and thanks, and I really appreciate all of you taking your time out. Dr. Ahuja, I must compliment that your campus is fantastic and your team is dedicated. I had a set of prepared notes, but I think I'm going to go off topic. The need of the hour. So, just to introduce CII to your teams, CII is a 125-year-old industry association, which represents the case of industry. We have thousands and thousands of companies which are members. Not only industries are members, but various industrial associations, right down to the grassroots district level, are our members. We take up the cause of industry with state governments, with central governments, and even at the highest international level. CII has offices across the country and across the globe to facilitate our members. The need of the hour. I want to get back to that. The pandemic has been very, very, very harsh on industry. Industry and our growth, where the Honorable Prime Minister asking everyone to rise up to make it into a $5 trillion economy. We need to step up. And how we need to step up? We need to ensure our businesses are running. We do not suffer from disruptions. Disruptions have become a way of life in the last 24 months. We need solutions, we need material, we need manpower to bridge that gap. What has happened? China not only sold material to us, but powered our factories with machineries and raw material. Ask any manufacturer here sitting in this room that where do they get their technology from? They'll say, chances are it could be a European manufacturer or an American manufacturer, but they were manufacturing and supplying from their unit in China. And as everyone knows, that in the last 2 years, trade with China has been affected. Our businessmen, engineers cannot go there, their team cannot come here. Such is the global scenario. And when we see the borders opening up, suddenly there's this new variant which is again troubling. Let's keep our fingers crossed that it's just a passing phase. But this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for us in industry to look at academia, and in particular, academia located close to us, to work with us. I think it's fantastic that IIT Ropar has opened its doors to our members today. I urge all the attendee CII members to be the brand ambassadors for IIT Ropar. Do look at what is on offer. There is an interaction post this. I think we go back into some breakout rooms and we have specific interactions with various departments and we see the strengths. Let us be honest with them. Let us see how we can engage with them and how we can give them our problems and help partner a solution. I appreciate what Dr. Ahuja said, that they want to be very transparent and they want to make it very easy to associate with industry. So let's take them on their word, let's trust them, and let's start working together. To Dr. Ahuja and his team, I would say that this industry day should be one of many. I hear you, sir, when you say you want to make it every 2 months. We will help you, explain this concept across all industrial sectors, all geographies in Punjab. We will help you and we will, without whether they are CII members or not. Like you said very nicely that in Europe, companies say it's for the good of the country. So we will not hesitate in introducing people to you. And I also urge you to make sure that you help us by giving us a slot once a year, every year. CII will host its annual council meeting. One of the council meetings we will host it at your campus. And Amit is here. He takes over from next year. So Amit, you have to make sure this commitment stands and whosoever takes over from you. So this becomes a regular practice. I would suggest one more thing. While industrial solutions are an immediate fix needed by our businesses, needed to sustain our operations, whether it is in process, whether it is in machinery. One of my colleagues in CII, Mr. Amrish, he suggested something which we have been working on, but I'll give him the credit for his foresight in saying that we need to partner with centers of excellence in shaping government policy. I know, sir, Dr. Ahuja, when I talk about the textile industry, the pain they had to go through 3 years ago. Punjab Pollution Control Board had stricter norms than even CPCB. And, your scientists and engineers will understand what it means to lower nitrogen content from, say, 20 ppm to 5 ppm. What's the kind of energy required? So, industry needs to be viable. Industry needs to be sustainable. So we will also look upon you as a friend to guide on policy, not only to us, but to the policymakers. Now, with that partnership theme, I must remind you, Dr. Ahuja, that you are a permanent invitee. The director of IIT has been a permanent invitee by default from the last 5 years on our state council. And we hope for active participation from you starting today, from today's meeting. With this, I don't want to take up too much time. I think the interaction which our members are waiting for is with the various departments. I want to congratulate IIT on a fantastic campus and it looks vibrant. And I hope that the interactions today between the various departments and our industry members are meaningful and that these partnerships will give real solutions to industry and then we could also be brand ambassadors for IIT here and sensitize this center of excellence, the opportunities available to industry so we could make it a success. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. And now I would like to take the opportunity to introduce Sri Siddharth IAS. He is the Secretary and Director of the Department of Industries and Commerce, Government of Punjab, and is virtually connected with us today. So, sir would now tell us about the initiatives from their side.
Yeah, very good afternoon to all. Sorry for the delay. I couldn't join because of some meeting, and I couldn't attend because of some health issues physically. So, very good afternoon to all. It is a very innovative and a new initiative from the side of IIT Ropar to have industry interactions today, and it is the need of the hour. And we from the industry department highly appreciate the initiative on the part of IIT Ropar. As we all know, the interaction with the industry is one of the important um, things to be done while formulating every policy which we used to do. We used to interact with the industry. We consult in the industry. We take their viewpoint while formulating any policy, while modifying any policy, and coming up with the new policies and all. So I think this interaction will be very fruitful for IIT Ropar also to formulate, whatever the mm, initiative they'll be taking for the industry in the state. As we all know, we are giving much importance to the technological development, and we are also very much, uh, taking many initiative in the form of, common facilitation centers. We are implementing this cluster development program, but its response has been very lukewarm. So I think with the help of the IIT Ropar also, we will be able to, convince the industry. We will be able to get a more, the better feedback from the industry. What is the requirement like in the form of common infrastructure? What is common facilitation centers and all? So I think this initiative will help a lot, and I must also appreciate the the initiative taken by the IIT Ropar, especially during the COVID time. We had been interacting with Mr. Sharma and other people from the IIT Ropar for the development of ventilators and other equipments, medical equipments required in the COVID time. So they had responded very well. And further also, we are looking forward to, more consultative meeting with the Industrial Association. I think Mr. Sadhana is already there from the CAA. And apart from the CAA, there are very other district level industrial associations working in various districts. So I'll be happy if more interaction with the industrial association can be worked out by the IIT Robert, and we'll be facilitating a lot. And also, if you can share the whatever the points which have come up today in today's discussion, and we'll be very much happy to work on those discussion points further to further carry out the take it to a logical conclusion. So thank you once again. I am very happy that you had arranged such a interactive meeting with the industries in the state, and I am very looking forward to the output of this meeting. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, sir. Now it is time to hear about the initiatives of the Punjab State Council for Science and Technology, the PSCST. And for this, I would like to call upon dais Dr. Jatinder Kaur, the Executive Director of Punjab State Council for Science and Technology. Please, ma'am.
Very happy to be here. I generally share that it's only a few years back when the Government of India, Ministry of Science and Technology publishes a document every year wherein it brings out a pie chart showing the distribution of national institutions all over the country. For a few years back, the situation used to be that in this whole pie, the the sliver, the slice that belonged to Punjab was very, very thin, and it used to be so painful. The state government really pushed hard with the government of India, and now we have, I would say, pretty good number, about 15 national institutions in Punjab. IIT Ropar is the front runner in that. And the other thing that, the willingness is on both sides. The industry wants to connect with academia, the academia wants to connect with industry, but somehow it has not been happening, specifically in Punjab. If you would say, if one thinks of, a pioneer, a front runner in agriculture, the picture that comes to one's mind is of Punjab. If one thinks of entrepreneurial spirit, the picture one thinks of is of Punjab. But when one thinks of a knowledge-intensive state, so far the picture of Punjab has not been coming to one's mind. It's the southern states that come at first to one's mind. But I think the situation is changing. With the as I said, there is so much of willingness on both the fronts that it has already, the picture has started reversing. Punjab, Niti Aayog comes up with a National Innovation Index ranking framework, and all of you know the Global Innovation Index ranking framework, wherein India is now in the top 50, and Punjab is at the 10th position, 10 most innovative states. And I think the interactions like these will take us further. I can see Mr. Bhavdeep Sadhana is here, and is we'll be taking reins from him. Mr. Amit Thapar will be here, and I can see many others. I can see Mr. PJ Singh. I would say they are the representatives of a handful in the sense that which people know. But I as I said, entrepreneurial spirit everybody knows, but a few brand ambassadors, like I've been hearing Mr. PJ saying he had to go to South to bring some tech-intensive startups here. Whereas IIT Ropar has an incubator. There are close to 30 incubators in Punjab now. Almost every good institution has an incubator. I can see Mr. Chima here. He's already collaborated with the IIT Ropar. He's bringing out a crematorium, energy efficient crematorium. We've already offered him that we can introduce steady straw based fuel in this energy efficient crematorium. We can see Mr. Pava is already on the board of directors of IIT, and as Dr. Ahuja and Mr. Bhavdeep shared, he's been instrumental in bringing all of us here together. To share the facilitation which is available to all of you from the State Council for Science and Technology's side, I would share that Punjab government has launched a mission Innovate Punjab. Many of you were very extensively engaging with us when we launched this. The entire purpose is that let's synergize the science, technology, innovation ecosystem that we have in the state. And let's augment our strengths. Let's consolidate our strengths first, then let's augment our strengths. And which can then boost the state's growth, which can create quality jobs, and which can in true sense what we talk of, which otherwise seem to be lofty words, the sustainable development goals, let there be no hunger, let there be no poverty. So otherwise they seem like a tall order, but this all leads towards that. And I have in the State Council for Science and Technology with me. We in fact, after we launched this mission, prior to that, we had the domain-specific divisions, organization within the organization. For example, a division focusing on environment, focusing on biotechnology, and so on. But after the mission, we also introspected, and the new divisions are research facilitation, technology facilitation, startup facilitation. I have a separate cell for facilitating IPR protection. And this is the first one which has been recognized as Technology Innovation Support Center by World Intellectual Property Organization of UN. First in India. After that, 9 more came up in India, in different parts of the country. Again, to give you some very real-life examples. As I said, I have a technology facilitation division. Many of you know, for example, I have Pritpal here. Pritpal, perhaps you can just stand for a minute, and so that everybody can connect with him later. He's been supporting industry so far, focusing on providing. Mr. Bhavdeep mentioned that when the regulator comes up with new regulation, bringing down, for example, the emission standards, where does the industry go? So he facilitates development of technologies, cost-effective technologies specifically, which then industry can bank on. And I think he and his team have catered to, as of now, more than 7,000 industries, especially MSME. And if I give you the figures of only last 5 years, the technologies developed for brick sector, for foundry sector, for re-rolling mills, close to 1,600, 1,700 MSME within the last 5 years have adopted these. I would say this is a pretty large number. And it's very recently, the Chief Minister had constituted a group to suggest ways for post-COVID revival of MSME, especially augmenting the capacity of industry-focused R&D centers, which Mr. Sibin was just mentioned. So give recommendations on that. There was this group comprised of 7 members, out of which 3 of us are here, Dr. Ahuja, myself, and Mr. Bhavdeep Sirvana. And the other 4 were, for example, one heading from Principal Scientific Advisor to Government of India's office, which heads Agni program that's accelerating growth of new innovation, new innovative India. And also head of International Cooperation Division of Industry and Mr. Ahuja, who heads another industry body. So one of the recommendations, so I was really going, I was sharing with you first about the kind of outreach to industry under Mission Innovate Punjab that the State Council is doing. I mean, every member which was from outside Punjab called me up and later to say that this is the best practice in Punjab, that who needs to go to rest of India. We didn't know that industry is engaging so much in adopting energy efficient technologies for pollution control in Punjab. And during that group's meeting, we've given a report to Industries Department recently During that group's meeting, only that Dr. Ahuja came up with one of the recommendations that the institutions should hold industry days, and it's indeed commendable that within 1 month he has made it possible, and Mr. Sardana. So the first industry day is being organized here. One of the members of this group was also director of CSIO in Chandigarh. He also deputed his team and Prithpal and his team. They went to bicycle sector, for example, in Gujarat, and have engaged very deeply with and have actually mapped their unmet technology needs. I would say this is a big challenge that industry, especially the small industries, they were unable to articulate the challenges that they face. So for that, Dr. Ahuja, I think the institution would have to really engage deeply with them. And for that, my suggestion would also be, like we recommended in that, the subgroup recommended that, perhaps each industry-focused R&D institution and the associated industrial cluster could be adopted by one national institution in Punjab. So at the end of the day, after a few, cycles of such industry days, your researchers could take a call on, say, 1, 2, 3 industrial clusters that you would like to adopt, so that the impact is visible. I know there is a biomedical research center here, whatever exactly the name you call it. Mr. Tejas Singh is here. Maybe there could be further deep diving into that. Then you work a lot on material sciences, the bicycle sector. One of their unmet need is that they don't have the right kind of material. The aluminum alloys with lightweight. So perhaps your material science division could help with that. So I think these, few thoughts that come to my mind, and we would be happy to depute our teams to work closely with you, and maybe we can have industry-wise meetings here, these cluster-wise meetings here in IIT or at the cluster sites, and can actually come up with their unmet needs. And from the state government side, we've already decided that we will be setting up, and this will be the first again in the country, a science, technology, innovation observatory of Punjab, and which will, besides other, besides various other things, it will also list the grand challenges of state and the unmet needs of industry, so that the institutions can align their research to address these challenges. I think with that, I see a lot of hope and look forward to today's industry interaction session. And I think Industry 4.0 is another area. Artificial intelligence, your institute is working very closely. I can see the gentleman sitting here. We had a discussion, on how to set up a few demonstration units on Industry 4.0. So thank you for organizing this. Very happy to see how it progresses. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So now, on behalf of Invest Punjab, the Punjab Bureau of Investment Promotion, we have Sri Rajat Agarwal, the CEO of Invest Punjab, connected virtually with us today. So, sir will now tell us about the initiatives of Invest.
A very good afternoon to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, present on campus and the others who have joined on VC. First of all, my sincere apologies that I could not come and join this conversation physically. And I so very much wanted to be part of this. I have not seen the new campus of IIT Ropar. I have not been able to meet the director and the dean IIT Ropar for a long time. And I very much wanted to be there. But because of some commitments on the government side, it was not possible for me to be joining there. Of course, my dear friend, Mr. Bhavdeep is there, and the entire CI leadership is there. And it was a very, very, it was an occasion which I was very much looking forward to because I very strongly believe in linkages. Linkages, of course, between the academy and industry, which is the most important. But also, in my view, the title should be complete if we talk about linkages between academia, industry, R&D centers, and the government. So I think that is where the loops gets closed and loop gets completed. And that is how I look at it. Now, the topic of the day is, I think, very relevant, and it is more so in today's time when the technology is developing at a very fast pace. The opportunities that are coming in different sectors in today's time are also in a very diverse and very dynamic environment. We need to keep pace with that if the industry is to explore and exploit opportunities that are being presented by the times and environment. It is for us all to take benefit of the same. We cannot do that if we don't keep pace with the fast moving technology and opportunities. Without the support of the academia, which includes R&D per se, and without the enabling environment and ecosystem which is developed by the government, I think it is going to be really difficult for the industry to take benefit of all the opportunities that is being provided. And mind you, these opportunities are not local. The opportunities today before India and the Indian industry are truly global. I'm speaking out of my experience. When we collaborated with the industry while we were drafting our industrial policy back in 2017, and it's been now 4 years since we have been running that policy, I think the kind of partnership we had with the industry really helped us shape our industrial policy in a very pragmatic manner. What we could create was something that was really put to use by the industry. It was liked to by the industry. Yeah, can I request the host to please switch off the mic? I think I am getting a lot of echo on my side. If some mic, I think somewhere is on. Yeah, so now this is better. Thank you so much. So I was trying to share the experience of the industry department and investment promotion department with Government of Punjab with the industry. And I think we were able to create something which was of use to the industry, which was the intent behind creating a policy. And the way we have been running it, there were a lot of things which came to our mind, which we did not envisage, we did not anticipate when we drafted that policy. But later on, we realized that we need to take care of this, and we have missed it entirely in the policy. And what it was only because of the feedback by the industry. And when we tried to step in the shoes of industry, that we realized, no, this is actually an area of higher priority for industry than what we had anticipated. So when I say that this collaboration and coordination between these four pillars are very, very important, I'm saying that with somebody who has practiced that in a little different field over the last 4.5 years. For the government now to be playing that role, I think there are multiple initiatives that have come in. And I am very happy to share. In fact, Madam also shared recently that we have launched a Punjab Innovate mission, which is an initiative where industry, the research and development centers, the financial markets, the government have come together. It's a government initiative, but led by the private sector to bring in the startups, to bring in the ecosystem of innovators at one place, and to really provide a push to the entire innovation system, to the entire startup culture and system in the state of Punjab. I think these are models that need to be further explored and expanded, wherein we all come together and give in our 100% and see how we can take this initiative and this interdependence of agencies forward and to get the maximum out of it. What are the opportunities of this collaboration? So I would say the first and the foremost opportunity which will present out of this collaboration is the problem solving opportunity. Industry encounters lots of problem in their day-to-day working. A lot of big industries are dependent on their vendor base, smaller industry, who are providing them the goods and services at a particular cost in a particular time with a particular rejection percentage of material. Now, if the industry and academia and R&D are to come together, I think the first and foremost, we can reduce all three. We can reduce the cost at which the goods are being manufactured or the job work are being done. We can reduce the time within which the scale is achieved. And also at the same time, we are also going to reduce the rejection rate or improve the standards of performance or standards of production within the industry. So first and foremost, I think, is the problem solving statement that the industry has in their day-to-day core functions. So the industry is going to be a direct beneficiary, a direct and continuous beneficiary of this entire initiative. That is one. Second, it will also help in research. Not only these problem statements will make the institutes, the academia, strive for research in the areas which are in demand, but it will also help those institutes to get some kind of a funding or support from corporates, because that is their need. That kind of research is a demand that is coming from the industry. So they may as well like to invest in finding solutions. And there, the research institution would be in a position to get into the research for those things. And the research ecosystem in the state and in the region will get a fillip. That probably is the second area of opportunity that will present itself out of this collaboration. The third part is skilling. It is not only about the problems which are being faced and the solutions that are being provided. Sometimes the everything is perfect, but the people are not equipped to use the technology in the right manner. So do we have the right set of skilled people who will use the technology that is state of the art? So the institutes will get, okay, these are the gap areas where skilling is required, and the academia may be more inclined to include those kinds of skill set and inculcate those in the skill set that they are providing to their students. And the fourth and the last that comes to my mind is what kind of agenda setting the academic institutions do in terms of curriculum setting. So I think, again, we have to be a little visionary, and we have to align our curriculums and our syllabuses to the perceived needs of the industry that are going to come in the short to medium term. Short term probably very difficult, but at least medium term we should target. And this collaboration, in my view, is going to be one of the most important ways in which institutes can set their curriculums according to the needs of the industry and of the times. I think so. Every stakeholder in this entire process is going to be a win-win opportunity. I will give you a small example again out of our practical experience. I am also wearing a hat of Excise Commissionerate, and I am the Excise Commissioner for the state of Punjab. I took over in June 2020. It was around 1.5 years ago. And the Punjab Excise Act is over 100-year-old act. It was promulgated, it came into force in 1914, pre-independent times. So it's a 107 years old act. The technology which was available 107 years ago was what was kept in mind. The rules have undergone change in all these years, but they have not been able to keep pace with the technology that is existing today. Now, when we wanted to look at what are the structural deficiencies, what were the technological possibilities to monitor production of liquor in the state of Punjab and to reduce and prevent pilferage of that manufactured liquor or byproducts in the process, we were totally blank. Neither the statute, nor the act, nor the law, nor the rules, nor the practices, nor the procedures. Nothing was attuned to be able to help us in understanding the current technology and align our procedures to the latest technology or the actual existing mechanisms in the industry. We collaborated with IIT Ropar, and I am very proud to say the report that IIT Ropar prepared for us was out of the world. It was a wonderful report, fantastic report. We got insights into very many new factors and features. Great hard work went into that. And the outcome is Punjab is the only state in the country today. All the distilleries in the state of Punjab are being audited by a third party, that is IIT Ropar. And what does this audit envisage? It is a structural audit of all the distilleries and bottling plants, and also a technical audit of all these distilleries. So on one hand, the department is a beneficiary of this audit and this report prepared by the institute, and we are able to plug leakages and pilferage in the manufacture of liquor and thus save our revenues. On the other hand, the industry got an opportunity to understand from the audit teams and their reports as to where and what they can do to improve their systems and reduce wastages and get more usable byproducts than what they are getting now. Extending it a little further, now some of the industries, some of the distilleries are wanting to work with IIT Ropar in further studying pollution abatement policies and technologies that they have adopted in their distilleries and how they can recover. So they want to increase their recovery of liquor per kg of raw material. So now they want to work with the institute to get more and more benefits out of the environmental protection and straight away recovery from the grain. So the department is benefited and the industry is benefited. How does IIT Ropar gain? So during this entire process for the last 1 year when we have been working together, I think there were many problem statements that came, which initially looked that it would not be possible for IIT Ropar to look at that. But during the process, there were fellows, there were students who were studying in IIT Ropar. They got trained in the processes and they brought in their new ideas and new vistas to the existing problem statements of the industry or of the department. So all in all, I say that these collaborations have a great role to play. They were always beneficial in the heydays in the 70s and the 80s. This collaboration was really very nice. They were really very good. We have a great ecosystem, whether we talk about, you have institutes of eminence here, you have NIPER, you have ICER, you have NABI, you have Nanotechnology Institute, hordes of institute. IT, of course, is there, ISB is there. Now, all these institutes, why this great ecosystem should not be benefiting the ecosystem of this area, the industry of this area, the populace of this area in the best possible manner. It is not going to be possible unless and until we all come together and truly bridge this gap between the different stakeholders and create a win-win situation for all of us and for the society at large. I, on behalf of the government of Punjab, would like to commit to this great initiative. I would be visiting IIT Ropar very soon, shortly, and hopefully with some industry partners, or at least with some partners from within the government, and to explore what more we can do together and how we can take this engagement forward. I would also like to learn from you what are the potential opportunities and what are the gaps from the side of government, what more we need to do, how more we need to do that. And I can assure you that the government of Punjab is truly intended to work with industry, to work with academia, to work with research and development institutes and centers, and to create value for the people of Punjab and for the people of this country. With these words, thank you very much for having me here today. And it's indeed been a pleasure to have joined all of you, though I really missed coming physically and joining there. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Gratitude for having me.
Thank you so much, sir. I thank all our esteemed guests for sharing such important insights with all of us. And to mark an end to this wonderful meeting, I would like to call upon the dais Professor Naveen Kumar, Dean of Research and Development, IIT Ropar, to extend a vote of thanks to everyone.
Very good afternoon. It's a very good day, very pleasant day here. And pleasant day in the beautiful campus. I welcome you all on the dais, my colleagues here, and the students. I welcome you all at this industry day. As we know that this IIT established about 30 years back. So, but we have evolved over the years. We have faced challenging tasks. We were in the transit campus. Then we came here in 2017-18. But again, we were having a big challenge here. We were having a flood here. So our campus was in flood. So we have again, you can say, to develop this because a lot of our machines get destroyed in the flood. So over the years, we have evolved and we are trying to develop these ideas, and you can see at present, we feel proud that we are in good shape. So not only in case of the research and innovation, we are also very much focused about our academics. So we have come out a new curriculum in 2017-18. Our old curriculum has some issues or some obstacles which we have removed. So our new curriculum has more focus on the industry as well as on the society of duty. As if we talk about the industry, so we have in our new curriculum the provision that our master's students can do 1 year full project in the industry. We have provision of it. Also for our undergraduate students, they can have 6-month project in the industry. So they are free to do based on the industry needs and the areas. Now coming to R&D sections, our R&D section is now totally independently working as a separate unit. Within our R&D umbrella, we have different sections like purchase, store, audit, all are within the one roof so that we can facilitate and enhance the speed of project executions, our consultancy, whatever is coming in our way. With that provision, I am happy to say that we have about 320 projects in our basket, worth of about 230 crores of rupees. We have about 1,500 crores of consultancy, which consists of about 210 projects or consultancies from different industries. We want to increase it further. Now coming to another obstacles which we were having in R&D, that we are charging the overhead charge, which is known as institute overhead charge, which at present is 20 to 30%, depending on the requirement of the industry. Whether industry want to use our laboratory, then it's 30%, otherwise it's 30%. We are bringing a new policy for that. We are reducing it further based on the slot system, like we have the income tax slot system. So if you are having the small project, this charges may be less than 5%. So we are very soon bringing that policy so that this overhead charges should be reduced and both our faculty colleagues as well as the industry get benefit. Another thing which we are also doing very meticulously and very rigorously, that we are bringing and opening all the research facilities as well as the departmental facilities, all the machines. Like my colleagues have shown you, we have sophisticated machines, worth of crores of rupees. We are opening them to the industries based on the small charges. Even we will be providing free service initially so that trust can be built with the industry as well as with the academy. As well as we have another provision of another department, you can see, that Dean of Continuing Education, Dr. Apurva is here, I think is here. So what we are doing is, so there is a lot of demands are coming from the industry that they want to take their manpower for the latest technology or enhance the manpower, or we are also want to reach to the industry that way. So we have a provision of it, and we are very much looking for the contribution of the CIA so that we can run different courses, certificate courses, diploma courses, depending on the requirement of the industry, so that that can be knowledge can be transferred both ways. So that's some of the initiative we are doing it here in the pipeline. I hope that will be very useful to the industry as well as for us. With that, I'm saying one line of our Vajpayee that Kalam mila ke chalna hoga, a very famous poem, yes. So we have to do it, and with this, I welcome you again all here in IIT. We have a session here for 1 hour with your colleagues and students. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Naveen sir. Now I request our director, sir, Professor Rajiv Ahuja, to please felicitate Sri Chetan Pava, member of the Board of Governors, for his constant support to our initiatives here at IIT. I request Chetan sir, please. Thank you so much, sir. Dear all, now I would request you to head towards the Radhakrishnan block for some tea and snacks and an interactive chat session with our faculty members and researchers. So you may take the rear exit or the front one. The Radhakrishnan block is on this side. Thank you so much.
Anshu.